Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Carla, the Happy Bookmaker, and this is part 2 of our Daisy and Phlox art journal layout. So we kind of finished the initial layout in part 1. I have to do the painting to lay down our Daisy photocopy. So I did not glue this, well, I did kind of glue a little bit here, didn't it? But that's okay. And it doesn't even matter if something gets on it because, you know, this is going to go over a little bit of the painting I can already see. So, all right, here we go. I've got my inspiration picture. I don't know about other people, but I cannot paint from, gosh darn it, I cannot paint like from memory. I have to have something to look at, which, you know, I don't think that's, I think most people are like that actually. So I'm going to start with, and I just dipped my paint, my brush in a little bit of water, and I'm going into this yellow ochre. And I know it seems counterintuitive, but I'm just going to draw a blob, or I'm going to paint a little round blob here, because that's going to give us the darker color in the background. And then the bright yellow, of course, is going to go over that. It worked out fine in my test sketch, so let's hope it works out in this. We'll see. Okay. And now I think I'm going to come in with, let's see, which brush? Yeah, let's see here. This little guy. Let's do this little guy, and we're going to start with, and mix a little bit of this brown, a little bit of this yellow ochre, and a little white. I got to do it with my right hand. To start putting in, maybe a little more brown, some of this, actually I think I put a little yellow, bright yellow too. This, I don't know. I guess it's like the, I don't know what it's called actually. If somebody knows, like the base where the flowers come out of. So this is going to be the same thing where I'm going to put down a darker color first, and they're just going to be like little, you know, just little splotches here. And the stem is going to go over that, and then there's going to be lighter paint going over that as well. And we can even go kind of into, because of course that's what it's doing. Okay, and so what this is doing is, it's just really hard to see on this photo, but it's just giving me some of the darker tones in that base of the flower there. Okay, so rinse out my brush. And let's start with some stems. So I'm going to do like the big stalk here. I'm going to do some green, put a little bit of brown, and maybe that was too much brown. And we're going to do a little bit of white in there. And a little bit of yellow. And this will be our darker tone. I think I'm going to switch brushes because I think it might be too big. And so this is basically going to be the darker tone in the stem. Yeah, this is going to be too thick. So we're going to switch that out. I think this one will be better. And there's going to be like a couple more layers going over this, so not too worried about it. And it doesn't even have to be like completely opaque. Just kind of go down. This is Loosey Goosey. Artistic expression. So that is the first layer of that. Now, I'm going to do kind of the same thing with the leaves. Just kind of get a little water here. Kind of get started on, you know, some leaf shapes. I sketch them out lightly with pencil. And these leaves are like, they're like real curly and frilly looking. And really pretty. There's going to be some like going in the background. But it's dry. There we go. This book takes the acrylic paint really, really well. I'm kind of surprised. Actually, on my sketchbook, because the paper is so dry, it was just sucking up paint like crazy. I was a little concerned, but this is going much better. Just like squiggles of paint. And let's see, we've got something kind of, looks like there's one kind of going in the background here. And nice big one here. Like that. I feel like I should do my Bob Ross impression. Happy little leaves. We got happy little leaves here. I think he used to say happy little trees. And I think he painted in oils, if I'm not mistaken. He was so talented. I am no Bob Ross. Okay. And now, continue on. What's really fun is when you start like getting the layers on. Let's see, which leaf was this? That's that one. This is this one. Okay. Because right now, you know, it's looking pretty one-dimensional and like, you know, doesn't really look like anything. But once, you know, I start with like lighter colors and that sort of thing, it just kind of comes to life. I don't know what you would call like my style, you know, if I even have a style. I used to kind of say it was sort of impressionistic, and I think in a way it is, but I also think it's kind of illustrative, not realism. Definitely not realism. And I try to keep myself from getting too bogged down in the details, and because I can get that way, and try to just be really free and free-flowing and, you know, not too exacting. Okay, so that's our first layer of, gosh, I hope you can see that. I know it's like dark green. First layer of leaves. So let's do, this is going to be wet. We're going to let that dry a little bit. Oh, I do have a leaf up there I need to tackle. It's a little guy right in here. It's kind of going behind. And there's probably, yeah, there's going to be more coming up in here, but I'm going to do the white on that first, and then we're going to come back with the with more green leaves. Okay, so let's take, it's always like, which one do I want to use? Let's take this one. I'm gonna mix some of this brown, our brown over here. There's a little green on there, but that's okay. With some white, and we want a pretty good chunk of white. It's probably way more than I need for this little bit. That's okay. And we're just gonna kind of go in, and boy, that's gloppy. And I'm just trying to pick up like the lighter parts of that. And a lot of it's gonna be covered up anyway, but I wanna get it in there. See, like just doing that. I feel like I should lay this down, so maybe, oh, does that help? So you can see. That actually helps me. They're just like little globs, just like they look in real life. They're, you know, and there's gonna be like a leaf, as you can see, like a leaf coming up in here. Okay, so we got our light colors. Okay, let's do sort of a medium green. Kind of go over it. This paint dries really, really quickly. And I'm gonna do this lighter yellow like at the end because it is in front of everything else. And, you know, I want it to really pop. And as hard as I try, you know, matching this exact yellow is tough in acrylics and making it pop the way it does on the photograph. But it's gonna look good. It's gonna be cute. Okay, so I've got our medium green. We're gonna add a little more yellow and a little more white to make it more of a, I don't know, a limey kind of green. And put a little bit more of this in it. But we do want it to be lighter. Not too light though, because we're gonna do another lighter coat over it. Let's see, how's our time? 12 minutes, not bad, not too bad. Okay, so here's where now I'm just gonna kind of lightly go over what I've already done. Letting some of that dark green show through. You can kind of see where the lighter stuff is. But I mean, I'm not going to try to match that exactly because, partially because of time restraints. It's just, I just don't want this to get too crazy long here. But I mean, you can certainly get the idea that this is a flower with leaves. And I'm going to go over like this middle part in the end and do like a little bit of veining, just very slight. I want to get a little yellow on this little guy back here. And you know, like the way it would be is that the lighter green, the lighter would be more on the outside if I was being really, really technical with this. You know, and the darker would be kind of more in the crevices. But this is a little more loosely done than that. Just kind of, I don't want to cover it all completely. See, it's starting to pop already. And just don't get too opaque with it. I actually love doing leaves because they're all different, right? They're all like different shapes and sizes, and you know, there's no such thing as, you know, an accurate painting of a leaf because they're all different. There are more leaves in here in the photo, but you know, I'm obviously not going to do all those. This is just to get the idea that we have a flower and leaves. So if this part, if it does bore you, I'm sorry, you can fast forward through it. I don't know, I love watching people paint. I follow a couple of very talented artists. One does watercolors and the other does, I think, everything. Acrylic, oil, watercolor, gouache. She's crazy talented. Okay, so now, so we've got this, I do have to put a leaf here. Let's see, let me go over my stem here. So you're just gonna bring it down. Leaving some of that dark. And there was a, I'm gonna do it backwards this time. There is a leaf, there's actually a couple of them kind of coming up. And I'm gonna throw in a little bit of the dark here too. It's just like a little squiggly. That paint's still just a tad wet, that brown. I might not be able to do it right now. It's fighting me. And there's that. Okay, and there is, what's this out? Throw a little of this darker green sort of in the middle of this. So we did this one kind of backwards, but. Go over some of this. And if I feel like I need to, after this video, I can always go back and touch up, but I'm trying not to do that because I'm trying to just go with, you know, how I'm feeling with it right now. So add a little bit more white, maybe a lot more white. Probably go over it one more time. Okay. I'm trying to mix with my left hand so I don't reach over the camera, and it's very tricky. I'm going to switch to, I think, a smaller brush for this. We're almost to the point where we're going to do the big yellow flowers. And there's just a smaller brush. Don't leave your brush in the water. It's not good. Okay. So we're going to take our smaller brush, and you can see where there's, like, you know, lighter parts on the leaves where the sun is hitting. I'm not going to get too technical with that. Maybe I should have even used the smaller brush. I also like to have like a little peak. You want to have that little peak, or like the little sharp point, I should say. And just kind of not too outliney, but, and then like there's a suggestion of like a vein, I guess. This one is, problem with the small brushes, you can't get a lot of paint on it. This also kind of gives, you know, some separation between the layers. I mean, the lighter at the end, I feel like really sort of brings everything to life. And I love to do my little wings. And again, let's not get too technical. Let's just have fun and free-flowing lines, and yeah. I will definitely bring this up closer when I'm done so that you can see it. I'm sure it is hard to see right now. But I have this issue of having the camera in my face and not being able to see what I'm doing, or, you know, and obviously I can't lift it and paint at the same time. Do a little bit more white on here, just, or lighter. Okay, see, it's starting to look more three-dimensional. And that's that. Just a little bit there. Just kind of free-flowing kind of leaves. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. 1 second, everybody. I've got a kitty at the door. 1 second. Okay. Of course. You know, kitty parents, it's like, I don't know, it's like having, I've got 2. I love them dearly. I love them to death. It's like having a couple of 3-year-olds though, and I am way past the age of raising 3-year-olds. It's been raining. As a matter of fact, it hailed for like 15 minutes yesterday. It's April 26th. I don't remember ever having hail in April before. But, so of course, you know, they want to go outside, and every time they come in, it's, you know, kitty footprints all over the place. And I have to resist the urge to mop after every time they come in, because I would just be mopping all day long. But so at the end of the day, when they're done going out, I'll give it a good mop, and it's kind of driving me crazy, but you know, I need to just relax and go with it. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like it a lot. Okay, it's a little bit more, I don't know why this paint was so hard to dry earlier. It is, it's still like kind of doesn't want to work with me. Let's just do a little something here. I feel like there's a gap there. There we go. Just get a little, you know, it's just kind of like go by feel. And you want to punch up some little areas, you know, punch them up. And if you'd kind of do it without thinking too much, I think it's more natural looking. Nature doesn't think. Nature just is. Give this a little, yeah. Give it a little, one of my little wings that I like. All right, I think that's good for the green. I'm loving it. Okay. One last thing before the yellow is I'm going to put a little bit more really light of this brown over those little, whatever those things are. I might have to get educated on that someday. I don't know. So take, actually, I think I want a little more brown. I think it needs to be browner. No, it doesn't matter. Okay. But I want to just, I probably should have maybe even just gone like real white. Just like couple of touches here. Yeah. Even though a lot of that is going to be covered. Of course, now I have to let that dry. Okay. Let's start with one layer of the yellow, the bright yellow. Oh, I've got green in here. My water is very green too. Okay. Yellow. I love yellow, but it just doesn't like to cooperate with me. So I'm going to go over it straight in with this, just nothing added to it. And then I'm going to do like a lighter. You see what I mean? It's like it's not very opaque. And I got the most opaque yellow I could get, and it's supposed to, you know, it is a good quality paint, but I just get so like, I love painting with yellow. I mean, I love yellow, but it gets to be kind of frustrating because like I have to go over it so many times. I have to really build up those layers in order for it to show. So it is kind of coming along here. Be very careful not to spread around that paint. I should have done that earlier. That paint that I just stuck on there. And this is quite a lot bigger. So we're just gonna, and we are gonna get some smaller, those little wisps. We're gonna get some of those in the end, but those will be at the very end. Oh, I'm liking this. I like it better than my sketch in my sketchbook, or I should say my test. I think it's turning out better. I know these are too big of a wisp, but right now I'm just trying to get the you know, the yellow, the brighter yellow color on here. Okay, so we're gonna come back to that and let that dry for a couple minutes. This is the tricky part with painting in real time is, you know, there's dry time, you know, and there's just no way to get around it. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking it. We're gonna need some more wispies, but now I think I'm gonna go in with an actual white and go around just a little highlighting on these leaves, and hopefully by that time I'm gonna get back to the need a really skinny brush. They look exactly the same. Okay, I'll do this one. A little bit of water. See, we're at 28 minutes. I'm really gonna try to get this done within 40 minutes here. So the painting will be, but then we have to finish gluing down. Okay, so you kind of see like that there are some little white spots. Now sometimes I can get crazy with the white and do too much and then it looks outliney. I'm gonna try really hard not to do that because I really like the white. And this is just straight out of the tube white. So it's got, you know, the most punch, I guess you could say. But again, we don't want to get too crazy. Stop me, hold me back. I can't help it sometimes. I just have to not think too much. I don't know. Are you an overthinker like me? I can overthink things. And some of this will be covered up by our paper, so. But I kind of like that. That's, you know, that's what a collage is, you know. Layers. And that's what builds interest and depth. And that's the fun of it. It's also why sometimes paintings, for me at least, can really take a long time, because I really like doing those layers, you know, building that depth. Just a couple more, and then maybe we can go in with yellow and finish that off, because we still got to lay down the rest of our page. And just a couple more here. And also, yeah, I'll do those afterwards. I'm going to probably put a few little white specks on the little brown parts. Okay, let's go back in with some more yellow. Actually, that's a pretty good representation of the color. Actually, pretty pleased with that. So let's just do, I'll hold this down. I just want to kind of make it, yeah, I'm going to have to get a smaller brush, because it's time, I think, to get some wispies in here. I just kind of fill that in. Just trying to make it bigger. And it kind of like goes out at the side a little bit, so it's like not such a round ball. Okay. If I was brave, I would do the bumblebee, but I'm not that brave. Maybe later, not in front of everybody. Okay, the wispies. Tricky because it's not going to want to show very well. We're going to do the best we can, so. It's like I need even a smaller, I think this is the smallest brush I have, so I don't know. Just it doesn't want to show up. Maybe. Yeah, let's go this way. I know there are little tricks you can do, especially with watercolor, you can kind of spread the paint by like taking a credit card into your wet paint and kind of dragging it through. Oh, this is actually working. Yay! The painting gods are with me today. They're helping me. Oh, I'm getting wispies. I'm getting wispies. I like it. I'm not going to try to get too crazy. If they get too thick, then it kind of loses the, you know, the idea of what they're supposed to be. So now I'm just going to kind of go, yeah, look at that. It's working, it's working. Not a lot of that darker is showing through, but I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. I'm afraid if I try to go back and put in the darker, I'm going to mess it up. What do you think? I think I should? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. If I could just do like a few little... wisps for depth, because there is like a center of this flower. And of course the center is always the darkest. Hey, I think that's working here. Oh, yeah. I like that. I'm not going to get too crazy. Yay! I like that. Okay. Now, one last thing is just a little bit of like almost completely white on our petals, or those little wispies. Is this the smaller brush? That's a smaller brush, okay. Just to kind of say, you know, the sun is shining on some of these This is where it can like get you in trouble though. Like if you do too much of it. Just wispy and very, very little amount of paint. Just a little bit, just to say the sun's shining on some of these little guys. And really one last thing, just a few little dabs of white on those little brown thingies. Oops, sorry, bumped the camera. Just a little bit. And I think I'm done. I think as far as time goes, that's probably as much as I can really do anyway, but I am pretty pleased with it. Like the paint really took well on this this book board, you know, this book page, whatever, with the acrylic paint, with the gesso and the acrylic over it. It really did. Oh, she's so pretty. I think she's pretty. Ta-da! So now this will go over it just a little. Oh, how fun. This is, you know, the finale. We're at 36 minutes. Yeah, it's going to be close. Okay, let me get this down. But, you know, I'm too close to finish now to just do another part. So we're going to finish. We're just about there. And just goes right over that. And again, there's that, you know, there's always that little issue with the fold here. Now deciding sort of where to, let me get this out of the way, where to put, I think this could go, where to put our daisies, because I want them to kind of, yeah, something like that, so that the phlox is kind of in the background and it can come forward this way. Okay, so what I'm going to do, should I bring it down more? Let's see, or should I go up further? Like, do I want it at the same level as the phlox or lower? That will cut off some of that, but I like it. I'm going to go with it. Okay, now that I've bent this, okay, I'm going to go with it. This is going to give me my cut line. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off. Hopefully it will be straight. And, oh, shoot. Okay, well, let's see here. Yeah, okay, there it is. Okay. I couldn't see the rest of the line. It's very bright in here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's like, and sometimes it's kind of blinding. Like, yeah, but then we want it to go a little bit in front of that. Yeah, okay. I'll glue that guy down. Where's glue? Okay. I mean, I could go over it a little bit. Over to the right a little bit. And I am going to go around this these flowers, with either a dark pencil or, like I did in the last layout, with that gray water-based brush marker, just to give this a little bit of pop. What I'm not sure of is how that's going to work over the paint, because it didn't take very well over the paint in the last one, so I'm a little leery about that. So I want to bring this over here, and come on, little guy, you can do it. You can do it. Boy, it's really sticking. Yeah, yeah, that's cool, huh? If I do say so myself, and I think it is. Okay. All right. Yes. We're at 40 minutes, but I think we can do a couple more things real quick. And if I have to do more on my own, I can do that. Because sometimes I like to sit back and kind of think on it a little bit. I do like this little stamp, although I wonder if it fights with that a little bit. But I could stick it down here. I could do that. I kind of like that. So I think, oh, and he's fallen off the page, but I can fix him later. So let's put that little stamp down here. Let's give him a little inking. You know, he's got to get inked up too. And this is just from, I don't know, it's some old book that had, it's about Christmas, and it had these prints of Christmas stamps. I mean, they're not real stamps, obviously, it's a book page, but I just love the look of them. And they're so pretty, and they're so unique. And see, this is now tying in our red again and our blues. I kind of like this little admission sticker, but I'm going to wait until I go around that. And you know what? Let's do this pencil, which is one of those pencils that I think you can wet it, and it will look like after I put it down, if you put a brush over it, it'll kind of look like paint. So instead of painting around it, you know, you don't have to paint around it. That's what I'm trying to get at. But I don't know if I'm going to want to do that, because I really just want a little bit of pop. But I don't want it to get, oh, no, I'm going to have to erase that. I don't want it to get too, like, you know, too thick. And I don't want it to go out of control. Sometimes those kinds of things can get kind of out of control. And then I feel like it can kind of make the page look dirty. And that's not really the goal here. So, oops, I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. You know, I think that's just going to be my style. Bumping the camera. And this is where it's going to get tricky. I might have to let that dry a little bit more. But it is certainly taking really nicely over the paper here. And I'll hold this up closer to you, but you can see just a little bit of outlining how much that really pops. If I do decide to take a paintbrush to it and water, I will show you at another time. Sometimes I just like to be with it for a while and, you know, get away from it and come back and see if it needs anything else. And I see I'm going to have to put some more glue down here too, but just having that little bit of outline, whoops, try not to go over your flowers. And let's see if it'll let me go over the paint yet. I don't know if you can even see this. You might have to zoom in, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to let it dry a little bit more. It seems a little bit tacky. Yeah. So I think I'm going to have to go over that some more. But, yeah. That's pretty much it. And should I put that there or not? I don't know. I kind of like it because it brings in the blue and, but it shouldn't probably go the same direction as that. See, I'm overthinking. Stop overthinking. I do kind of like that, but I also don't want to cover up too much of this pretty paper. I think I'm going to leave it. I think it's good. I think it's good, you guys. So there you go. Art journal layout number 3. We're at about 45 minutes. I'm pleased that I was able to do a little mini rough painting in that amount of time. I'm really happy about that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you join me again. We're going to be doing more art journal layouts, and I think next week I'm going to start on another junk journal. I think it's going to be part 2 of my France and Flowers. I have a part 1 France and Flowers junk journal. I want to do a part 2. I knew as I was doing the first one I was going to do that, so I think that might be on the schedule for next week. But thank you so much, and if you liked it, give it a like and subscribe, and I really appreciate you, and this is so much fun, and have a great rest of the day, everybody. Bye-bye.